Welcome into the PHNX Coyotes post-game show brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Steve Peters, and the tone of this one changed drastically in the last 5 minutes of this game, and we have to start with it because it's all that's on our minds. And it was Clayton Keller crashing into the boards with 5:15 to go in the game, and it did not look good.
No, you look at how this team played tonight, and things, they've got a 6-game losing streak, and you saw it coming to an end, and we were pretty excited in here, and the offensive outburst that we've been looking for, and then something like that happens, and you don't know what to say. Like you hope for the medical team, and you looked how calm Dave Zanobi, the head medical therapist for the Coyotes, is on the ice instantly, and he ran out there. Like, these guys are trained so well for this, and they are unbelievably professional, and you have to trust in their abilities. And you could see how calm he was, so that helps get the player calm. And I think that's a starting point. And once you see the doctors get involved and the stretcher come out, you get very concerned. But you did see the thumbs up from Clayton Keller as he left the ice. So you know he's at least moving extremities, and he's okay.
Yeah.
We'll see where the injury goes from here. We don't speculate. We don't want to guess what happened or didn't happen. It's just really unfortunate because he just slipped.
Yeah.
Like his foot caught a rut, and it's just an easy. He was driving to the net. All he's just turn away. That's all he's got to do. But his foot catches into the ice. And unfortunately went into the boards really hard.
So awkwardly, yeah. And of course, stretchered off. It was just horrible to see. And it sucks to see. I mean, now this is 2 significant injuries for this Coyotes team this week. Krause out for the rest of the season, broke his hand, and now this. And both of those players are having career years. Keller was just 2 points away from setting his career high in points. He'd already surpassed his career high in goals. And if he had played in the remaining 15 games, I'm sure he would have got.
Yeah, he was 2 points shy.
Yeah.
His 65, his rookie year, he had 65 points, and he's sitting on 63 right now with his 28 goals is his career high. He's had a breakout year this year. I mean, we've talked about this season with Clayton Keller not only being an all-star, and fitting in at the All-Star game. I thought he was really a good player at the All-Star game.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, the Coyotes need an All-Star, we'll just give it to Keller. Like, he deserved
He did, and he played it, and he fit in with those guys. He's added so many things to his game, his ability to defend this year. He's gotten stronger. He's a 200-foot player, and everything that was asked of him, he's done. Let's hope it's not as significant as it looked, and let's hope everything's okay, and we'll wait. Craig will probably have an update, but I'm clearly there'll be no details tonight. But follow Craig to find out what happens over the next 24 and 48 hours. But it's significant with only 15 games left to play. This is a big deal.
Yeah, and you can tell how shaken up the bench and the building was silent. Like, you could hear a pin drop in the building. And another unfortunate part of this is that Keller's been on an Ironman streak of his own. We talk about Kessel all the time, but among active NHL players, Clayton Keller's 4th, only behind Yandel, Kessel, and Brent Burns, who we just saw tonight. 357 straight games played.
He hasn't missed one since 2017.
Yeah, since he basically made this team out of camp in 2017. Yeah. And I know that's not, like the biggest deal, obviously, like his health is first, but I mean,
it kind of goes back to Leah, when we talked about the other day when you look at Phil Kessel and you look at Keith Yandle's Iron Man streaks. Like Clayton Keller is hundreds of games behind, and his foot got caught in a rut in the ice, or he slipped, or whatever. I mean, things happen in a game. So you start looking at Keith Yandle coming close to 1,000 games right now. Like it's an amazing feat when you see things like this. And you know what? We're not worried about Clayton Keller's Iron Man streak anymore. We'll move past that. Let's hope next thing we're talking about with Clayton Keller's a 30-goal season or a 40-goal season,
breaking his point total record.
Right. Yeah. And that's where we'll go. And
he will.
He will. And this, he's just going to continue to progress as a player. And let's let the people that the doctors and medical people involved and the rehab guys and the on and off ice, let's let him get Clayton Keller back to playing the kind of hockey we know he can. Because he's had a great year, and let's hope that it's not a serious injury.
Absolutely. And it felt better for the Coyotes to get a win after that happened tonight. You kind of felt like they needed it for the team morale, and Barrett Hayton scored a really nice goal in the third, and then Nick Shmaltz got it done with the empty net goal. So Arizona broke a 6-game losing streak, and this would have been the 7th. So snap that streak, luckily, because that was getting a little dire there. But this occurrence does kind of cloud the win.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling, isn't it? Like you sit and watch, and the people in the arena were stunned, and people on the ice and the bench, like you mentioned, it just leaves you kind of with a sad.
Feel like sick.
Yeah, you do. It's really hard. Yeah. It's really hard to watch that, and unfortunately, it's part of the game of hockey. I mean, it's a contact sport, and it's rough, and it's injuries are a part of the game. You just don't want to see it, and you hope he's okay.
Yeah.
But we do have to talk about other stuff.
So we'll talk about the game, and we'll hear more when Craig comes on more about Keller's injury. So let's start with tonight by the numbers. Another night that the Coyotes had over 40 shots against. San Jose had 42 shots on goal. Arizona had 24. And San Jose was 1 for 2 on their power play. And here's a fun one from Arizona Coyotes PR, that rookies to record 4 wins of 40 or more saves in a season: Shesterkin, Carter Hart, and Lalime, I don't know, 1996.
Lalime. Patrick Lalime. that was Ottawa.
Before my time. And Karel Vejmelka.
Wow.
So now he...
interesting list.
So 4 wins.
And I will say this.
40 plus.
With Karel Vejmelka tonight making 42 saves, I was very critical.
Made 40 saves.
40 saves. But I was critical about him playing so many games in a row, and I questioned that. And again, I'm first to say it. When I'm wrong, I was wrong. He was really good tonight.
But you would have suspected. I mean, Craig tweeted it earlier today. That's 4 games in 6 days in 4 cities in 3 time zones for Vejmelka.
Tired just saying it.
Yeah.
We've all flown, and you just after you take a trip, how tired you get. Like, imagine how much traveling they've done in this last week. So I'm sure he was tired.
How many games they played in such a short period of time.
He was good tonight. I thought there were moments today where he was a little sliding around, a little busy.
That one where he saved it, but slid all the way out
to the hash marks. You're like, what are you doing? And there might have been a few posts tonight.
Yes. Let's just get this one. So we have multiple kings.
We have multiple kings tonight.
And this is the first, the post.
The post. Some big posts tonight.
The post really came in clutch.
I mean, when Logan Couture gets a breakaway in the 3rd period, that changes the complexion of the game. It's still tied off the post. That changes the game if that goes in. Hard off the post. Hurdle had 2 off the post. Vejmelka, I don't know how many big saves he had. A couple off his toe, off his leg. That flurry.
One in the same
The flurry
sequence,
before Keller got injured.
This one in the same sequence where Couture hit the post. Vejmelka made an incredible save, and then the Coyotes ended up scoring on the next
There was an unbelievable flurry of action in the 3rd period. And so the first king of the game goes to the post. And to finish with Vejmelka, there were moments he made some unbelievable saves tonight. And those are the saves he hadn't made over the last few games. But more importantly, what happened tonight that hasn't happened over the last 6 games is their ability to get some offense. They hadn't scored more than 2 goals in their last 6, and in the 6 losses, they couldn't register more than 2 goals. And you can't win like that. Tonight, and we talked about that offense. I'm telling you, that line was Shmaltz, Keller, and Ritchie. When they were on the ice, they were a threat to score. They looked good. Like Ritchie getting to the net, he just, you know what? He said, I got it. you guys go get the puck and just throw it at the net, and I'll be there. And, I don't know how many chances he had. We ended up with 5 shots on goal.
Unbelievable.
He was just he was dangerous around the net, and that's something that line has needed. Boyd can get in and out. Richie can be there. Like, he's got a physical presence. He can be the man in front of the net. And even when you watch that line defend, Shmaltz is listed, I think, as the centerman taking draws, but when they play in their defensive zone, Richie's doing all the battling in the corner. He's playing he's playing the center spot in the defensive zone because he's bigger, stronger, and wins those defensive battles. I liked that line, and we talked about on this trip the line of the kids, Hayton and Michelli and Carcone.
Yeah.
I like them together. I know Hayton gets his goal with Boyd on the ice, but he played with those two guys throughout. It was a fun line to watch. Yeah. So now it's going to be interesting to see because it's another injury. So Krause left, so you got to find a way to fill that spot. Potentially Keller out of the lineup, and I'm speaking way too soon because they don't play for a couple days, but speculating that he might be out of the lineup. Now what? Like the injuries for this team this season have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
How many guys have been out of the lineup?
I know, it's been so unfortunate. But yes, going back to Nick Ritchie, that was his 10th goal of the season, and he has 8 goals and 10 points in 16 games with the Coyotes, including 3 in the Coyotes' last 5 games, which, given the fact that the Coyotes haven't scored much over the last few games, to be one of the main contributors of that is significant. And, I see again and again on Twitter, like, it seems like what a steal, but we talked about it again and again. Like, he just did not have this in Toronto, and he needed a change of scenery. Yep. And this has been a really good spot for him. And I hope that, like, he's part of this team's at least short-term future, because this seems to be a really good situation for him.
And he's playing a different role here than he would have had in Toronto, right? Like the lineup they have in Toronto, you've got some really, really high-end players there. So his ice time was less. He's playing with a different kind of player there. Here he had better opportunities. He had better opportunities to get better ice time with better players. He's a good hockey player. Toronto has better players. I mean, they're elite. They're one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. So he just didn't quite fit into the mix, and it's really important. And you see it here when you get a line of people that fit together. He just fits in this lineup. He belongs here, and I think he's starting to really have fun here. And part of the Andre Tournier's, we talk about what he brings to the room. It's a fun atmosphere for these guys, and I think Nick Ritchie's just added to that. And you can see he's having fun, and when you have fun, it makes life a little easier. Yeah, and he's getting points,
especially in a losing season. But if you still
they're finding ways
to have fun and bring joy. I mean, if you have to go, this is their job, so they have to go to work every single day, no matter if they're winning, if they're 82-0 or 0-82. So, like, how can you find those ways to make going to work fun? And like you said, he's contributing to the locker room vibe, which is great.
Yeah, and I want to go back to sorry, I just checked my notes, but we're looking at Vejmelka's, the 2 goals that did get by on him. I don't think he sees them. Like that first one, I don't know, 3? Did we count 3? Ping pong ball that it went.
That was insane. That went off 3. It was like boom, 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 boom.
Like, no chance. There's literally no chance.
You can't fault him.
Yeah, I thought, it got tipped, and it only got tipped. It hit 3 guys.
3 people.
And then even the second goal, similar circumstances. Burns quick shot from the point, through bodies, through traffic. I don't think he sees either one of those. The ones he saw tonight, he stopped, or they hit the post.
Yep.
So they're going to go back with Vejmelka on Friday. Like, he's going to play again. So it's going to be his, what, would that be 5 straight? Yeah, it'll be 5 straight. He'll play Friday for sure with the day off. So I don't know when the Vejmelka streak ends. I guess when Hari Sateri gets here.
Yes, which according to Craig, he's scheduled to arrive on Friday, but he'll need some practice time.
Yeah, I don't know if he's skating wherever he has been. I don't know where he's been.
I don't know.
You remember when Tom Hanks got stuck at the airport? Is that what he's been doing? The guy lived at the airport for the year?
Living at the airport this
dating the flight
time.
attendant? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Catherine Zeta-Jones? No.
But I got nothing.
No reference? Didn't see the movie?
No, sorry. What was the movie?
I don't remember the name of the movie. He lived in the airport.
Anyone,
it's a true story.
In the comments, if you know the name of the movie.
Yeah, Tom Hanks,
put it in
Catherine Zeta-Jones. Lived in the airport.
All right, another highlight from tonight's game. Jan Yannick just dominates the San Jose Sharks. Now all 4 of his career NHL games. All 4 against the San Jose Sharks, including 2 tonight, which, speaking of players who have the opportunity to step in with some holes now in the lineup with injuries to significant players, and Yannick didn't have the greatest game the other night. He like almost shot on his own net. A little bit shaky out there, but tonight he really made his mark, scored in the second period and then scored again in the third, and now all of his goals are against San Jose.
Yeah, and you look at it, and it was important. We talk about how the line matchups work, and so he's out there with veteran players. He played with Boyd and Kessel. I know Kessel's not getting the goals that he anticipated at the beginning of the season, and Kessel's a goal scorer. That's what he does. This season, he's been a distributor.
Yep.
He had 2 assists. He has the primary assist on both of Unique's goals, and they were really good passes. Like that second one, how he just chips it off of that face-off plate and just chips it back to the middle of the ice. That's a hard play. He's being defended. He's got a stick on him, and Phil still makes the play to the middle of the ice, allows Unique to get those goals. So it's really important for a young guy to get mentored by a veteran player, and I think that's what you saw tonight with Unique. It's been an interesting story all season long with these young guys coming up. Anton Stroman, that's all he is. He's been a teacher and a mentor for player after player after player all season long. And, whoever the young guy is in the lineup seems to be paired with Stroman or at least under Stroman's wing. And I think you saw that tonight with Kessel and Unique. We'll see what Unique does for the rest of the season. These guys are going to get plenty of ice time.
Yep.
And there's going to be somebody else getting a chance now too.
Yep.
So we'll see who that is in and out of the lineup and who's coming off the IR next. Like, we've got there's Fisher coming off soon. There's Roussel coming off soon. Like, we'll have to ask Craig what the status is of all these other players.
Yeah. Because
there's so many guys still out of the lineup.
Yeah. That was actually Kessel's 34th and 35th assists of the season tonight. So now he has 35 assists, which is crazy to see the disparity between the assist column and the goal column for Kessel, who we normally think of as a goal scorer.
But pure goal scorer.
Yeah, but if he's older now and you have to find ways to adapt your game. So to have 35 assists, he's, I think, now tied for first on the team with assists.
Yeah,
so.
And that's the most assists he's had in the season as a Coyote. So with plenty of games to go, he's going to have to be a bigger part of the offense right now, depending on what the situation is with Keller. And we know Krause is out already. So Kessel is going to have to carry some of this load. Like Shmaltz, again, I think he made a great pass to Richie. Everybody's going to have to be a part of this offense now. It's going to have to be a 4-line group that's going to have to toe the rope because your leading goal scorer may potentially miss some games here. So they're going to have to find offense and goals by committee. Like they're going to have to really spread it around, and you're going to have to get secondary goal scoring. And I think they've got guys that can do it. It might give an opportunity for that young line to really get some opportunity to create some offense. And I think an expanded role for Michelli could be interesting to watch too, because he's a kid that you see around the puck all the time. We saw it when we were in Tucson. Like the puck just follows Michelli around, so maybe he'll get an expanded role here in the next few games.
I want to say something else about Phil Kessel, actually related to the Keller injury. I just pulled up Craig's Twitter feed here. So Craig had tweeted, when Phil Kessel came off the ice after the game, he didn't go into the dressing room. He went immediately to the medical care area to find and support Clayton Keller. And then an update from Andre Tourigny on the Keller injury. This is a quote per Craig. Kells is getting transported to the hospital. He will have further exams there. His mother is here. We're all sad to see him not just getting hurt, but being in pain like that. Coyotes coach Tourigny said, we know it will be long term, but he will recover.
We know it will be long term?
Yep. So that's updates from Craig on Twitter.
Wow.
But, we talked about the tangibles on the ice for Kessel, but the intangibles too, and just that note about him immediately going to check on Keller. And I saw some comments earlier on YouTube saying, like, Kessel especially looked distraught. And it just, I think, goes to show that, like, the family in this locker room, and we talked about, it's been a really hard season, but these are people who love each other and love playing with each other, and it's a team. So
you talk about that core group. Craig talked about that middle core. He wrote a story on the middle core with Chychrun and Fisher and Keller and Shmaltz. Phil isn't in that same age bracket, and he didn't come up with these guys through the team, but he is a part of that pack. He trains with them in the summer at the facility here in Arizona. He hangs around with those guys. He's very much a part of that group. And I think he's been able to, Phil's an interesting guy, but Phil wins. I mean, he's won cups for a reason because of the way he competes. And he's been a really strong addition to that room. And I know that the talk was, oh, he wants to get out. He wants to get out. Phil wants to get traded. Well, Phil wants to win. I mean, it's not because Phil doesn't like it here, or he doesn't like the people, or he doesn't like living in Arizona, or the coaching staff, or the staff. He wants to win. And you can't fault an athlete, especially a professional athlete who competes to win. You admire him for that. But I think when you see a situation like this, he doesn't get traded. He still really likes and cares for the people that he plays with.
Yeah.
And he has become a quiet leader of this group. And I don't know where he goes in the offseason. I don't know how Phil Kessel's future shapes out. Is it unheard of that you could sign him here? I don't know. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what the money would look like, but could Phil Kessel be a part of this? I wouldn't say no.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Kessel's multiple assists, and we talked about Unique's multiple goals, and now so many career goals against San Jose. And because of that, Jan Unique is our second DraftKings king of the game tonight, with his 2
with the bubble on
and the full shield, because he broke his nose in a fight down in Tucson. So doing it in style, Unique. So shout out to you for the success that you had in this game, and I hope that it only continues from here, and this is just the start of confidence sparking for him. I want to talk about Nick Shmaltz, because with his assist tonight on the Richie goal and with his empty net goal, he has now hit 20 goals this season, which is his second time doing so. He also has 22 points in the month of March. 9 goals, 13 assists.
That's unbelievable.
22 points. That's the most a Coyote has ever tallied in a regular season calendar month since relocating from Winnipeg.
Seriously? Oh, you have so many good nuggets.
Shout out to Arizona Coyotes PR for the nuggets. So I don't just
22
do the
points
math.
in a calendar month?
22 points in the month of March.
That's unreal. And I'm just looking at his career numbers. He hit 21 goals in 17-18. So he's 1 goal shy of his career goal total. But here's a guy. He should be a perennial 20-goal scorer. So now that he's achieved this, I think that's where the bar needs to be set for Nick Shmaltz.
Yeah,
I think he needs to be a 20-goal scorer. And I think we've talked about his consistency, and he's had injuries throughout his career. He hasn't been able to play a complete season. Okay, the bar is set. Now, we've seen it, Nick. You're a 20-goal scorer in the National Hockey League. This is where you need to be. When he's consistent, he's dangerous. He tracks the puck well back, which means he back checks and defends. Passes extremely well. You saw it tonight on the Richie goal. Like that's a hell of a pass through 2 sticks, and he can score. He's a threat to score because he's got good speed, drives the net, and he can shoot. So, okay, we've talked about all that. Now he's put it together finally, and he is becoming a consistent player. So now let's build on it. I'm excited to see where this career goes for Nick. He's signed for a couple more years. Like, this is a part of the future in the short term is Nick Shmaltz. So he's going to hit his career mark. I can't imagine he's not going to get 1 more goal this season and hit his career mark in goals, and he's just 5 short of his career record for points. So let's hope he can continue to produce through this last 15.
Absolutely. We have a super chat from Ruler14, a $10 super chat. Thank you. Everything that has gone wrong this year has gone wrong. What did we fans do to deserve any of this? What did our players do? Love your shows. We'll be back for the draft lotto, but too much pain. It is. It is. That's why we have this space. It's pack therapy for everyone. But
it isn't interesting because it was the end of the streak and we're all like, oh my gosh, the offense is back, all these good things. And it just feels different.
I saw some comments here and on Twitter earlier, and so just blow up Gila River Arena at the end of the year.
Good
it's
grief.
Jesus, just wash our hands of it. Oh my gosh, which we'll get to more memories of Gila River. Arena.
Yeah, 9 to go. That was the 9th, 8 to go after tonight.
Yeah, crazy, but just really ending it off with some bad memories.
Yeah, bad vibes.
Man. Well,
where to next?
No. Let's talk about our third king.
Our third king.
And it is Bob Keyhouse. And I've seen some comments. He called his
Look at Bob.
1300th game.
1,300 games.
That's unbelievable. We're exhausted after 67 games this year. 1,300.
1,300. Bob Heathouse, the people that have never met, Bob Heathouse might be one of the nicest people in hockey. He doesn't, there's never well, that you say somebody played bad. No, well, maybe it was, if skates weren't sharp enough. No, he's not that nice, but that's who Bob is. And Bob, he cares for the people around him. He cares for the players. He cares for the people. And I will say this to Bob, and this is sincerely to Bob Heathouse. When I was unemployed between jobs, I spoke with Bob Heathouse 3 times a week and talked to him often. And he was a guy that lifted my spirits, and he was a guy that kept giving me hope to find that job around the corner. And if not for Bob Heathouse, I'm not sitting here doing this today. And he still tells me things I do right and things I do wrong at this job. He is my mentor through this process. Todd Walsh helps me with my interviews, and Bob Heathouse gets me through my days. So I'm extremely happy for him. I know he missed a few days with COVID, and it was really hard for him. He doesn't care if he's calling a pee-wee game at the ice den. He loves the game of hockey. Yeah. He's from Michigan State graduate. He's called his first pro games with the Muskegon Lumberjacks in the old International League, and then on to the Phoenix Roadrunners. And one last Bob Heathouse story. Even when I started working for the team back in '97, I was on the bottom of the ladder. Like I wasn't allowed in the locker room. Like I couldn't do anything. I would learn about the team from Bob Heathouse. He had a post-game show every day on the radio, and I would religiously listen to it after the games were over, and I'd be driving home, and I'd listen to Bob because Bob knew what was going on with the team. He was my ticket and my insight into the Arizona Coyotes. And again, I thank Bob for that because I felt he gave me a look behind the curtain to the Arizona Coyotes. And so, Bob, congratulations on 1,300. And he will listen, by the way. I do joke a lot about, I'm sure they're listening. Bob's listening. Yes. Maybe not right now, but he'll hear it tomorrow.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
So congratulations, Bob.
We appreciate you, Bob, and congratulations. And
Our
thank
third
you.
king.
And thank you for all, and Petey mentioned it, but like he's given me guidance as well, and just it's been so great. And I know sometimes people will turn on Bob also while
Matt
they're
McConnell's
watching.
first time he called a game was with Bob Heathouse, got him the call at Michigan State College, Matt said today. So Bob's done a lot for a lot of people, and it's good to see good things happen to good people, and Bob's one of them. And I asked him to come on our show. I asked him to come here, and in true Bob Heathouse fashion, he said, "Why? Who wants to hear from me?
I want him to see all the people commenting about how much of a legend he is.
Who wants to hear from me?" He said. But so we're going to do that. Yes. I'm vowing it right now. During the offseason, we will get Bob Heathouse here in studio to talk about his experience.
That'd be awesome.
Okay.
Well,
that was my rant again. Well,
that was our 3 DraftKings
King of the game.
We had to have a lot. And speaking of DraftKings, it's the Final Four this weekend, and which I cannot believe we're already at this point. And if you haven't yet signed up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app, now is the time to do it, because new customers who sign up using the promo code PHNX can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets. If they do, it's that simple. If they win, you win. Existing customers, if you already have DraftKings, you can bet on college hoops with same game parlays, combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you win. So be sure to check out the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and also check out the PHNX Daily Bet Show Monday through Friday at noon. Johnny and Shane have both been on fire, and they will make you money this week, I swear.
I don't know what it is with them, but they're on fire.
They're both they were 8 for 9 yesterday. Yep. I think. I don't know what they were today, but they've been on a tear. So check that show out Monday through Friday at noon on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Again, that's the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Promo code PHNX, bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. That's 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And perfect timing.
And just like that,
Craig. Craig, it doesn't feel much like a win tonight, and we've talked a lot about it, and I just read your tweets on Clayton Keller, but do you have anything more for us?
No. we just know it's going to be a long-term injury. There's no doubt in my mind Clayton Keller's done for the season. Just awful situation, having an incredible season, finally becoming that player that they thought he was going to become when they drafted him. But, far more important than that, you just hate to see that happen to someone. It was an ugly looking injury. You never want to go feet first into the boards. It's hard to tell. The left leg looked bad when it hit, but then you saw him roll over and grab the right hip. It's hard to know what's going on with the injury, but pretty somber mood. Andre Tourigny saying that all the players lined up to, basically just to touch him and tell him they were there for him. When Phil Kessel came off the ice after the game, he didn't even go into the dressing room. He went immediately and said, "Where's Clayton?" He just went to find him in the training room in the medical area just to be with him. So just an awful night for the Coyotes, awful news to lose the guy that's been their best player all season.
Yep. And we heard that his mom is here too.
Yeah, she's here. Andre told us that. So good to have family support. His parents have a place out here, actually. They built a place out here. So I know they spend a lot of time out here. I don't think his dad's here right now, but at least he's got his mom, Kelly, with him to go to the hospital. And I'm sure we'll be hearing more about the injury. But like I said, Andre already said it's long-term. We know he's done. And it's just the latest in a string of injuries to key players for the Coyotes. Lawson Krause, I think, is out for the season as well. Christian Fischer could be out for the season. I'll have a lot of this in a story tomorrow, but they're going to be playing really shorthanded guys with a lot of their key guys in that middle core out of the lineup. Like Nick Shmaltz is like the only one left at this point.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That brings up the point, and we were mentioning it before you got here. There's going to have to be players stepping up to fill these roles. And also, you mentioned some of the injured players who might not be coming back, but are any of the players on IR right now close to coming back? Any news on that front?
Not at this point. I mean, I wouldn't say anybody's close at this point. Again, I'm going to have it's a laundry list of players. I can't even remember them all to rattle them through on the air right now, but it doesn't sound like anybody's close. So they're going to have a ton of AHL players competing in the lineup right now with an opportunity to get some games, but not the way you wanted to close the season.
Wait, I look at the roster from tonight and the guys that are scratched. The only one, I mean, they're all injured. Like Chychrun, McBain, Fisher, Moser, Krause, and Harry Satera is not here, and he's a goalie. So have you heard anything more about Jack McBain? Is there a possibility that he can get on the ice soon?
He is skating.
Oh, he is
skating. Skated for the first time today, but they don't have a timeline on when.
But there's a chance he may be able to get a game in before the end of the season.
Oh yeah, that's the expectation, that he will play games. I think it'll be more than one game. They just don't have the exact timeline yet.
And then, well, while we're talking about college players, Nathan Smith plays Thursday night, and Minnesota State versus Minnesota Golden Gophers. If Minnesota State's eliminated on that Thursday, or even if they win and they play again on Saturday, by the weekend,
right,
their season's over by Saturday night.
They could work to sign him.
Yeah,
they could work to sign him and bring him in. And you got to believe, well, I know more than got to believe that they do have a sense that they can sign Nathan Smith when he's finished. So that could be another guy that steps in, but it's going to be a crazy lineup, guys, of AHL players and recently acquired players. I reported today that Harry Sateri is supposed to be here on Friday. Bill told me he'll need, roughly a week of practice, and then they'll be able to get him in goal as well. But what a crazy roster they're going to finish the season with.
What a crazy season, I guess, to start with. But you're going to look at all of these guys that you hope to see in the future. And we talked about Michelli and Carconi already, but who's, and Yannick tonight with 2, who's up? Like, who's next? Who's the next guy from Tucson that's going to come up here? There could be another 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah, Ben McCartney. I still think like in a different role, but Boko Imama could be up here. But there's not a lot of guys left down there that you would bring up in this situation. So it's getting a little crazy here with the amount of injuries that they're sustaining late in the season.
And you've already seen it at the back end. I mean, at the defensive side of the puck, how many guys that we anticipated to be in Tucson for the entire year have become staples of this blue line, and now it's it's unfortunately becoming the same recipe up in the front and the forward lines as well. So I think you're going to see a lot of shuffling of lines. And I know we sit there and talk about, oh, this guy's playing with that guy. Honestly, for the next 15, I'm not sure it's going to matter. Like, they're going to have to find 12 healthy forwards and get them on the ice. I think it's going to be, roll the dice, shake them up, and see who you got together tonight. I just, we're not going to be talking about, oh, the chemistry with this guy and that guy. No, they need 12 players that can get on the ice. And unfortunately, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
And okay, Craig, right when we talked about Shmaltz, Keller, and Richie looking good together, like, they were fantastic together tonight.
Yeah. No, you can't roll that line out there anymore. It's just nuts right now. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's really so unfortunate. Well, while we have you here, Craig, and it's funny because we mentioned this earlier in the show, it's like, God, these last few games at Gila River Arena just makes you want to leave all the bitter memories behind. But
yeah, seriously,
we have been counting down the final 10 games at Gila River Arena, and we're counting down the top 10 moments at Gila River Arena, and we did number 10, which was the opening faceoff for the first game in the building, and our number 9 is not really positive for the Coyotes, but in the history of the NHL, very significant. And of course, they were Rick Nash and Alex Ovechkin's infamous goals that are probably to this day both top 10 NHL goals of all time. Rick Nash's goal in 2008 and Ovechkin's in 2006, just absolutely memorable goals.
2 years and 1 day apart. To any list that has the top goals in the history of the National Hockey League has these two in the top 10. And if you don't believe me, go to YouTube and search it, because that's the only way you can see these clips, because we cannot show them on our show. People don't like that.
They'll burn down PHNX if we do. So
they'll come for us. They burst through the door.
The NHL. I mean, but we unfortunately we got to go look through these goals again today, and it's funny because on YouTube there's a deep dive of the Alexander Ovechkin's goal, and it has Darren Pang, who called it, Brian Boucher, who was in the net during the goal. They have a lot of people that were involved in the goal, and it's a long 15-minute segment on what happened on that goal. And I tell you what, to start the play. Do you know who started the play, Craig? Do you know whose fault? I won't fault. That's aggressive. The puck bounces over his stick to start the play at the Coyotes' offensive blue line. Former Coyote, former forward, and current broadcaster, Tyson Nash.
Wow.
He's at the blue line. The puck bounces over his stick. He couldn't corral it. Ovechkin picks it up from there, and he's a one-on-one with Paul Mara. A big, strong American defenseman pushes Ovechkin. Everything's good. We're all good, right? Ovechkin falls down. Play's over, right? No, it's not over. Ovechkin, from his back, looking the wrong way, puts the stick over his head on the ice. And I don't know how we could see, but can't see the puck. There's no way he could see the puck. And he beats an extended Brian Boucher, who still holds the record for most shutouts in the history of the game consecutively, puts it by him and into the net. I still don't think he believed it. Wayne Gretzky's on the bench during that. He was the coach. He's staring at the screen in utter awe of this goal. If you haven't seen it, you do need to go and watch this goal. It is absolutely amazing. I still to this day can't believe it went in. And, Craig, this is something you might not know. Who was in the building that day? Besides you and me, someone else was in the building that day.
I'm sure there was
Leah
else.
Merrill was in the building.
And,
No way. Wow.
And intern Benjamin.
And intern Benjamin was in the building today, too. So of the people involved in the show right now, 4 of the 5 people were in that building. And the Rick Nash goal, we'll just briefly see that, too, because that one's even more interesting because it's 30 seconds to go in a tie game in the third period. Like, it's a big deal. And Derek Morris puts the puck, again, starts in the offensive zone. Derek Morris shoots the puck towards the net. Unfortunately, it hits a shin pad of Rick Nash, sending him off. As he's gathering the puck, Morris is able to get back and defend. It's 1-on-2. Rick Nash against Keith Ballard and Derek Morris. A 1-on-2. 1-on-2. And these are NHL defensemen. And Keith Ballard and Derek Morris, that was the defensive pair of that team.
Yeah.
Like, they're really, really good defenders. And he made them look silly. Like he put it between their legs. Yeah,
That one's worth a YouTube view.
That's
also.
again, and then Michael Tellquist ends up on the short end of the stick in net. But two of the top goals in the history of the National Hockey League happened right inside Gila River Arena, and that is number 9.
Number 9 of the memories.
There you go, Craig. Craig's speechless.
I know.
It's a somber mood. I know, Craig. We went through it. And we hard to get out of that. I know. And we also said that as this story progresses, to make sure you're tuned in to PHNX and Craig S. Morgan, because that's where the news will break. And we're all of our thoughts are with Clayton and hope for speedy recovery and that hope he's okay.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Craig.
Definitely not worried about breaking this news. If it comes from the Coyotes, that's just fine. Again, we know it's long term, so it's not going to be good news. I hope it's not catastrophic for the leg or the hip or whatever it is. We're talking like, a year plus. I hope it's not that kind of injury, because you really want to get Clayton Keller back on the ice at some point next season. It may not happen at the start of the season now because we're in March. I don't know, but you just hope it's not something that's going to extend like a year and beyond.
Yep, absolutely.
And lastly, before he goes, we should tease Thursday too.
Yes. We have
tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's tomorrow? Thursday's tomorrow?
I mean, like 12 hours from now?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I need a better calendar.
I know. Well, we have a very special guest coming on our audio episode. Craig, who is it?
It's Craig Button, draft prospects expert Craig Button, who also has a fantastic first name. He's going to come on to talk to us about the top prospects in this draft. And I really want to get a sort of a deeper sense from him of what he sees in this draft, what sort of opportunities, position strengths, things like that. And he knows it all. He was a GM in the league at one point, and he follows this stuff closely. So that'll be a great conversation.
Yeah, and the people that follow hockey across Canada and nationally across Canada know the name Craig Button. And if you're not familiar with him, he is definitely dialed into the prospects, and he's definitely going to help guide us through the lottery and the draft. So looking forward to that tomorrow.
Yep, all about the future right now. So that will be tomorrow. Well, Craig, we'll let you go. Only, 8 more drives home after tonight from Gila River Arena at night?
Yeah, so we got practices. We got
at
and
night.
We got the breakup days. So. At night. Okay. Yes. Only 8 more. There's not another matinee this season? Are we done?
No, I think we're done
with
the matinees.
Sorry, buddy.
I know.
I think that's it.
All right, Craig. Well, drive home safe and have a good night.
And we'll talk to you tomorrow, Craig.
Keller.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
see you guys.
Bye, Craig. Well, Craig mentioned it. He'll have some more of these injury updates in a notebook, I'm sure. And, he's dialed in and, wishing the best for Clayton Keller after what just is a heartbreaking end to what was a phenomenal season. And like Craig said, hopefully it's nothing too significant or too serious. But if you want to check out more of Craig's writing, you can do that at gophnx.com. You sign up to become a member. You can get an annual membership and get a free shirt when you sign up. Or if you want to try your first month for just 50 cents, you can do month to month that way as well. So head over to gophnx.com to become a member. And the PHNX locker has some new merchandise in it. We now have hats. Which I think we have the graphics still, maybe. Yes, hats are here. So get your hands on one of those.
All about the dad hat.
They look amazing. I have one. Petey has one. Sean has one. Craig
doesn't have one.
Craig's coming. But yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. The hat. They're phenomenal. So grab one in the PHNX locker. Sign up to become a member if you're not already. And tonight, speaking of PHNX and shirts and hats, the PHNX Sun Show. They had a special event at the Ainsworth in downtown Phoenix, and Petey and Sean and I attended for the pregame portion since we had to get back to the studio for our game.
Yep.
But we saw someone there today wearing this very shirt. Steven.
There he is. Steven.
Okay, listen to this.
Okay, this is freaking people out.
Steven and Leah. Hello.
And we're Steve and Leah.
And
they were sitting at the table together, and it was Steven and Leah.
Crazy.
It was very crazy.
Bizarre, but really cool to see a Cody the Coyote shirt out and about.
That might be the first time I've actually seen it. Like,
oh really?
We saw it at the ice stand.
Yeah.
At a practice, but that's kind of, I don't know, is it the kind of, that's a hockey thing. This was like out.
And this was a Suns event.
Yeah, it was a Suns event,
Steven
and we were
wore
out.
his
And
Cody
Steven had
shirt,
his Cody shirt on.
which I really appreciate.
A lot of PHNX shirts there too.
Yeah.
But and when we say, I'm going to say one thing, because if I haven't complained enough this show, I need to do it now. So I don't know if you've noticed, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, no one gives a shit. So this is an irrelevant story. This is only for people watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we have to go like this to look at the comments.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
We have to. So that's rude because we should be looking over here.
I'm trying so hard to look over here.
And usually we have a monitor right there with all of our comments, and I can't see the comments because they're over here.
Because
Why?
Because
the Suns stole the monitor for the Ainsworth show, so they got our monitor.
Yeah, so that's why PD and I.
So I gotta go like
up
this
in the corner,
and that's why I'm not commenting on comments because I can't see the comments.
It's okay. I'm reading them.
Can we show the Ainsworth?
Yes. So PD, much like his entrepreneurial self, took a little video behind the scenes of what was going on at the Ainsworth.
Steve Peters with the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Here we are at the Ainsworth for the live Sun Show watch. So let's take a little tour and see how it's going so far. Well, we'll leave Leah. They're the ASU show. And here we are. This is what a live look-along looks like. The Coyotes don't get them because we don't win, but when we do, we will. And this is what it looks like to have a live look-along at the Ainsworth. We'll see you in a few minutes after the Sharks game.
It's
fun to be around them. And Benjamin, did they win?
Yes.
The Suns
did win.
Suns
I
did
know
win.
it was
Benjamin
close.
was intently watching. He stood in the doorway and watched both games.
Yes.
So they won again. All they do is win.
And all the Coyotes do is
Not win.
Or
Always.
even when they win, it's
Even when they win, they don't win.
bitter. And also Seattle lost tonight, which is a bummer. And now
And Montreal's on that dastardly swing through Florida.
dastardly.
They've got-
You should try and just use
I'm going to use that every show.
You should.
So
So now Arizona and Montreal tied with 47 points at the bottom. Seattle 48 points.
and it's Montreal's headed into Carolina. Oh boy, I don't know. The Coyotes have Anaheim here,
Yeah, and
on
Anaheim's
Friday.
been struggling.
And they're struggling,
They're really
too.
struggling. They're 0-8-2 in their last 10, and they're on a 5-game losing streak.
Yeah,
So not looking good, but
the tank.
maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see for the tank, but only a few games left. One positive from tonight. Connect 4 on the punch card.
Connect 4 on the punch card, which I can't see. Oh, there
It's
it is.
a diagonal.
Diagonal punch 4
Yep. Connect 4. So
on both directions. No, we need
No,
the next one. It'll
blocked.
be another one.
Yeah.
We win tomorrow.
Win
Or
tomorrow
Friday.
and
It's
win
another
game
Connect 4.
77. Another
So,
Connect 4.
No, that way, diagonal. So we win the next one.
Sorry, audio listeners. Once
I know.
Again.
Yeah,
If you,
again,
Also,
you're listening on
every
your
time
car.
we talk about the punch card on, like, for the audio listeners, just the punch card's usually on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes after every post game. So if you're confused, just head over there.
They get it, right? The old buy 10 get one free at a sandwich place. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Except there's 82 of them.
We'll get 82 games and hopefully get a first overall pick
Exactly.
in the NHL
and that's the
draft.
prize on the inside.
And that's the prize. And we'll have more on that with Craig Button tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you can only listen to that wherever you get your podcasts. So Spotify, Apple, wherever. I know there's been some issues for Google users. We're trying to get it sorted out. But stay tuned for that. But the Craig Button episode tomorrow will be audio only. So be sure to subscribe and follow and leave us a 5-star review or in a comment wherever you get your podcast. All of that really helps us a lot. So we appreciate that from all of you as well. We'll have that tomorrow and then another post-game show Friday after that Ducks game, which they say a
7:30?
7:30. It's like, come on. We're finished with the 8 o'clocks. They throw in the 7:30s.
Why can't they go on that Eastern trip again?
I know, right?
4 o'clock.
Hey, there's only
I know.
15 games.
I know. We got
left
this.
now?
We got
Almost
this.
there.
We have this.
Almost there. And I saw a comment like we need to wrap Nick Shmaltz in bubble wrap.
I know.
agree.
Yes.
At
We
least
got to
Nick
get him
Shmaltz
through.
got his injury out of the way early in the season.
Yeah.
So let's just hope there's no more serious injuries. Let's hope that some players get the opportunity to shine in these last 15 games, that we can see A lot of great performances, and hopefully the team rallies together and has a great end of the season, and that it's nothing too serious with Keller, and we're sending our thoughts to him in a speedy recovery, and hopefully it's nothing too serious.
I think that's it, Leah.
Yep, that's it from us.
Big win. 5-2 win breaks the losing streak, and unfortunately still a little pack therapy tonight.
Yep, pack therapy vibes still. But thank you all so much for watching. Please follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes, and we will see you on Friday. Have a good rest of your week, everyone.